Happy New Year, everyone! Gamertag here, and for the first video of 2025, we are going to be going through Pokemon Red with the first Pokemon in the Pokedex, Bulbasaur. Now, this one's going to be interesting, because Bulbasaur gets, it gets Stab, Mega Drain, and gets some other moves, but Bulbasaur, I feel, outside of maybe a few fights, is going to be significantly better than Butterfree. And that's not exactly a surprise or anything, since, well, Butterfree, if you remember, didn't really get a lot to help it. Outside of Psychic, Mega Drain, and Mimic, Butterfree was pretty awful. Granted, Butterfree did have an easy time with some of the fights that I expect Bulbasaur to struggle with, which I don't think it's going to be too bad, considering we get Mega Drain. So we name our Bulbasaur Rhydon, since Rhydon was the first Pokemon ever drawn, and I don't know, I personally thought it was hilarious, not to toot my own horn, but we got a pretty solid Bulbasaur. Although, well, what I thought was solid. Its stats are good, and then I found out that our DV and HP was awful. Now, we did have 20 HP at level 5, but it ended up being pretty bad in HP. But we're going to have to make do with it, and let's see how this is going to go. So, Bulbasaur has the same special in Special Attack and Special Defense, so from Gen 1 to Gen 2, no difference. However, what's most important is Mega Drain, Growth, and Body Slam. And while Butterfree did get Mega Drain, Butterfree did not get Growth and did not get Harden to help boost its stats, and also did not get any good attacking moves. So, with that being said, I expect Bulbasaur to do a little bit better. I don't expect too many gym struggles, at least not early game. Brock, Misty, and Lieutenant Surge should all be easy. Even Erika shouldn't be too bad. But Sabrina, while Butterfree didn't really have any struggle with Sabrina, I expect Bulbasaur to have a difficult time. And while we do get Growth, what's going to make it interesting is the fact that Psychic is still going to hurt. And Psychic can also drop your special in this game at a 50% rate, which just offsets Growth, but still. Early game, we're just taking out some bug catchers for some free level ups because bug catchers are terrible, and can quickly move on to Brock, who, once we get Vine Whip, we're not going to really have any struggles with at all. In fact, we should be able to sweep both of his Pokemon with an effortless Vine Whip. You can see Geodude is an easy one-shot. Onix outspeeds and hits basically next to nothing with Tackle, and we one-shot. No surprises here, but seriously, why does Onix only have 45 base attack? Onix is one of the worst Pokemon in Generation 1, which also, yes, that is a Gen 1 Pokemon I eventually want to use, and I'll show you exactly why it's so awful, but instead of telling you that, I'll show you when we eventually get to the video. But for now, we're just going to take out some trainers to the east of Pewter. I cannot stress how badly I want Body Slam, because Tackle can miss, and it's 3-hit KOs on most of what's over here. And Body Slam also is more than double the power of Tackle, which is only 35. Body Slam is 85 power, and has a 30% chance to paralyze. Now, what is interesting with Generation 1 is that Body Slam cannot paralyze a normal type. And I think that's just what happened with the coding when, poison types couldn't be poisoned by poison moves, and fire types couldn't be burned by fire moves and things like that. But we're just going to pick up the Helix Fossil here, because we always pick up the Helix Fossil here, and we can now make our way to Cerulean City. Now, I'm not going to fight Misty just yet, even though I do feel that we could put up a decent, fight against her, considering we're a grass type. But we're going to instead fight the rival on Nugget Bridge, and fight the trainers for some extra levels. Now, we did lose this on our first attempt, and that was just because we were hit by 3. not 1, not 2, but 3 sand attacks. And you can only probably imagine how difficult it is to hit a 95% accuracy tackle at -3 accuracy. We literally got to Charmander, missed a tackle, and then we were finished off by Ember because we were already low on health from all the attacks we missed. We ended up getting to Abra in this, and because we were low on health, I just sped the footage up, hit Leech Seed, stalled to make sure we had all of our health back, and took him out. We were able to hit both Vine Whips on Rattata, no problem. And last was Charmander. We missed tackle, he hits Scratch, we hit tackle, he lowers our attack, we hit Leech Seed, he leers. Then we hit Vine Whip, don't do much, he hits Ember. We get health back from Leech Seed, hit Ember again, he then Embers, we Vine Whip, but instead of him Embering to try to take us out, he throws the fight with Leer. Also, Rhydon can't evolve since Rhyperior didn't exist. I know, it's probably not funny, but I couldn't resist, okay? But now we can fight the trainers after the rival on Nugget Bridge, and yeah, Growl basically shuts us down immediately. This Nidoran female, had Growl been used first, would have turned us into a 4-hit KO with Tackle. Possibly 5 if we low rolled. We also ended up losing to a trainer because of his Zubat, because we hit ourselves twice in a row from Supersonic. So we're going to take our frustration out on Misty, now at level 24. So she X-defends as we 2-shot Staryu with Vine Whip. And you'll notice she's not using any water moves. That's because the good AI in this game assumes they're bad moves because they're resisted. And the AI in this game is crazy anyway. And her tackle, even with a crit, only does about 12, so we get an easy first try victory for Misty, and get to the funnier level of 25. Now that we're on the SSN and now have Body Slam, we can now 2-shot Pidgeotto. Raticate is going to be a 1-shot with a critical Razor Leaf that we now learned. Kadabra is a 1-shot with Body Slam after hitting a pretty big confusion. But Charmeleon doesn't quite KO with Ember since it doesn't crit, so we get a close, narrow victory. Nice. Man, I almost thought we could have lost that when I saw Ember coming for a minute. One of the last super easy gym leaders, we have Lieutenant Surge, who just hits Sonic Boom with Voltorb, taking out 20 health and then a tackle. Pikachu is a 1-shot with Razor Leaf since its defenses are awful. Raichu comes out, crits a Thundershock, hits Thunderbolt, but then instead of attacking, Lieutenant Surge just uses an X speed. I mean, if he would have crit Thunderbolt, he could have won. You know what? It's fine. I don't know what his obsession is with X speeds, but it's another first try victory. Now, the rival in Lavender Town wasn't necessarily awful, but this made me realize just how awful Execute was going to be. And if you remember with Butterfree, we greatly struggled. I mean, we actually had to come back and teach better moves just to take down his Execute. I mean, this time we took it down with no problem at all. And also, something you'll notice with the text boxes. Notice how it says that it's not very effective to Gyarados even though it's neutral. It's just one of the issues with Generation 1 that while the damage is calculated correctly, when it is a neutral damaging move outside of it being a normal move, it will always say it's super effective or not very effective. Also, Giovanni was incredibly easy, which I'm sure that shocked absolutely nobody. I mean, really, he used a guard spec thinking that he could guard himself from failure, and he still failed. Also, don't forget to comment for the YouTube algorithm. Also, feel free to talk trash on Giovanni's sorry excuse for being a trainer. Seriously, is there a worse boss of a team than Giovanni? Because I personally don't think there is, at least in terms of being underwhelming. Giovanni wins. Also, Erika was incredibly easy. Interestingly enough, she went for Poison Powder, which can't affect us. I'm not sure if she went for it because we're part grass, and because her other moves are 4 times resisted, but it's a really easy victory, unsurprisingly, and now we have Mega Drain. We've almost got our potential final moveset. With that done, we can go to Fuchsia and go to the Safari Zone and get the TM for Surf, which we'll need for later game travel. And also try to avoid Safari Balls, because they are worthless. Just read this guy's piece of paper. They are absolute garbage. Just throw them out. Silph-Co rival fight, and surprisingly, I thought this fight was going to be an absolute train wreck, but it actually wasn't. So Pidgeot was a 3-shot, and then Execute came out and just kept going for Reflect and Poison Powder. And then it made me realize that Execute is not at all a problem. So the AI in this game will see a move like Reflect, Agility, what have you, as a good move because we're a Poison type, and then just keep using it. So because of that, we were able to set up all 6 growths and just barrel through his team like they were nothing. You can see how little Ember even did, and I think even if that second one crit, we would have probably been fine. Ember's not that strong of a move anyway. With that, we can get our Surf and Strength HM Lapras, which we named Like Video, which also, if you are enjoying the video, hit that like button. Just like, hit it as hard as we're about to clap Giovanni, because he's not winning this fight. He used a worthless Poison Sting, which does basically nothing. We 2-shot him with Body Slam. Kangaskhan is going to be a near 1-shot with Mega Drain as he just Comet Punches, and we take him out with a Disrespect crit. Rhyhorn is a obvious 1-shot with Mega Drain, bringing us to full health, and Nidoqueen is a 2-shot after he yet again fails to do anything and uses a Guard Spec. Is he like obsessed with guard specs? Does he not know how they work? They only protect him from stat drops, not from losing a fight. Oh well, let's just fight Koga. So Koga's just going to lead a Coughing. We're going to set up some growths. Now I don't know if we're going to need every growth, but I wanted to make sure that we would 1-shot the Coughing with Mega Drain. Muck is not quite a 2-shot with Body Slam. We don't get... Is this one the one that gets us attack, or is this special? Because the 5th and 7th badges apparently are backwards in this game in terms of the, stat modifications and badge boosts and stuff. But Koga's really easy, and even Smog from his Weezing does nothing. I'm actually amazed he landed it, because it's like a, 60 accuracy move, which is hilariously awful. But hey, now it's time to fight everyone's favorite awful AI gym leader, Blaine. Growlithe decides to keep spamming Agility, hit Ember, Retroactive Super Potion, hits Agility again, and then goes down to a critical Body Slam. Ponyta is a 1-shot with Body Slam. Rapidash is almost a 1-shot, misses Fire Spin, and then goes down. Arcanine survives, but uses the Retroactive Super Potion, then uses his weakest fire move Ember as we win on our first try. Blaine, please never change. I just like showing how hilariously bad you are. It's so comical. Last, moderately difficult fight is Sabrina, because we all know Giovanni's going to be easy. Am I right? Sabrina wasn't actually that bad. Once we got through Kadabra and were able to get up some growths on Venomoth, we had an extremely easy time. Despite her quad-effective Leech Life still doing next to nothing, we got through the team no problem because Leech Life is only 20 power. Nice. 1 badge left. Okay, I know we're probably not going to 1-shot everything Giovanni has, but at least we know he's going to be easy. Rhyhorn is a 1-shot with Mega Drain to the surprise of no one. Dugtrio just uses a Guard Spec, so he's a 1-shot with Mega Drain, again with the Guard Spec. Nidoqueen is going to take multiple attacks as it's a 3-shot with Body Slam. That crit might have mattered, I'm not entirely sure. I was so confident with this fight, I didn't even use growth. I knew we would win. I could have won this with my eyes closed. Like, that's how easy this fight was going to be. But also it's Giovanni. He's hilariously bad. And with that, Giovanni retires because he knows he is an absolute failure. Now, I don't know if the rival is going to be horrendous, but we'll see what happens. So we start off with some growths as Pidgeot goes for Agility, because good AI, but then goes for Wing Attack. Sometimes he'll even go for, like, Whirlwind, because it's a flying move. Amazingly enough, though, he never did that. Now that Rhyhorn is out and we've grown a level, we can set up more Growths as we one-shot with Mega Drain. Next out is Execute, who again is going to do absolutely nothing thanks to the AI. Gyarados is going to use Dragon Rage as we Mega Drain, finish him off thanks to our special boost from Growth. Alakazam surprisingly survives as it hits a Psychic, but then Body Slam takes it out. Charizard comes out, and we somehow survive 2 Flamethrowers and manage to hang on for the win. And I really thought he was going to crit that second one. With the rival defeated, we now can begin our preparation for the Elite Four. And what's really interesting is that I'm not expecting too much difficulty. Loreli shouldn't be too bad. I mean, well, Jinx could be a problem. Jinx is fast and could crit us. But other than that, I think she's going to be really easy. Bruno, well, he's Bruno, so he'll be easy. Agatha, though, Agatha is going to be a nightmare. An absolute nightmare. We could get put to sleep and lose. She could use Nightshade. We could get confused. And then she could just whittle us down with Nightshade or put us to sleep. It is probably going to be abysmal. Probably worse than maybe any rival fight we had with Butterfree. I mean, I don't know. Maybe she won't actually be that bad. But here's our stats before the Elite Four at level 61. Honestly, I'm amazed at how high our special is. I mean, attack maybe could be a little bit better. I still don't know if I'm going to use Mimic or not. I do have it in my bag, because maybe Mimic's going to be better than having to rely on Body Slam, but let's do this. So, right out of the gate on Loreli, we are going to just set up some Growths. She goes for Rest. She is going to go for Rest. Oh no, she doesn't go for Rest. But she crits a Aurora Beam. Wonderful. Cloyster's out next as we Mega Drain, healing off more health. As we grow a level, which is going to offset any other boosts, but it's okay, because Slowbro is going to come out and just not attack. So Slowbro, again, has Amnesia, which means it will only use it, so we can just whittle it down with Body Slams slowly but surely. I kind of figure Mega Drain won't do as much. Jinx goes for Ice Punch, thankfully not critting. We did lose the last battle because she crit an Ice Punch. This time though, we're able to win no problem, and Lapras is a 2-shot with Mega Drain, and thankfully there was no freeze from Blizzard or a crit. No way we survived that. Next up is Bruno, as we just use Onix as our setup fodder because all it does is use Rage. So for those of you who don't know, Rage is pretty much the worst move in Gen 1. I know Splash exists, but Rage, once you use it, you can't use anything else. Also, we lost because we got froze from Ice Punch, and nothing on his team knows Haze, so it's an instant reset because you can't thaw unless you either use an item, which we can't do because it's against the rules unless it's outside of battle, or Haze is used. There's no other way to thaw outside of those two scenarios, so we're gonna have to amazingly try Bruno again. I love how Bruno just gets this giant fluke victory. Like, absolutely no chance that Bruno wins, and then he gets the lucky 10% uncurable freeze and wins off of a 1000% fluke. I have never seen this happen ever. I mean, I have gotten a freeze, but I didn't expect Bruno to get a freeze. Anyway, next time it was really easy. We could have beat this fight with our eyes closed the second time. Alright, let's see how awful Agatha's going to be. So we get confused right out of the gate, use Growth, she tries Dream Eater because she thinks she can use it since it's a psychic move, we hit ourselves in confusion, use a couple Growths, then Golbat comes out. And then Golbat uses Haze. Then we Growth, we Body Slam, and then it uses Haze again. And then we Body Slam and take it out, and now we're +1. Thankfully though, the Gengar is now asleep. Now, I know usually I only use Sleep Powder if I have to, but I will just tell you now, there is absolutely no way we beat Agatha without Sleep Powder. It just can't be done. The only way that we could have beaten her without Sleep Powder is if we were basically a ridiculously high level to two-shot everything on her team, and then had enough power points for Mimic and she never put us to sleep. And even then, we could still lose. We also lost because Arbok paralyzed us with Glare the fight just before this one, but this time, her team stays asleep long enough for us to finish her off with Mega Drain, and we might be able to get through this whole fight now without Mimic, which is kinda neat, because I've seen a lot of people use Mimic in the past, and we're doing it a little bit differently, and I kinda like that. Next up is Dragon Trainer Lance, or Partial Dragon Trainer Lance, or whatever you want to call him. Gyarados hits 2 Dragon Rages as we just set up some growths. He uses Dragon Rage again, and then we cover just about everything he did to us before we get blasted with a Hyper Beam. Next up is Dragonair, and again, good AI, so he will only use Agility. He won't do anything else. I get that that's how the AI works in this game, but this just makes setting up way too easy. So we set up all of our growths, and we can pretty much Body Slam, Mega Drain everything on his team. We just failed to KO Aerodactyl, which I also forgot to save after beating Lance. So because of that, I actually found out that Aerodactyl could be KO'd with a range, which maybe I only set up 5 growths in this battle, but we win pretty easily on our first attempt, and now it's time for the Pokemon League Champion. And we found out very quickly that level 64 is not going to work. And despite the fact that we can put Pidgeot to sleep and use Body Slam, and yes, I'm sorry, the animations you can't turn off for this fight, so for those of you who don't want to see any like flashy type of stuff, I do apologize, there's nothing I can do. And Alakazam comes out, we growth, and he hits Reflect, which is what we like to see, but unfortunately he crits a Psybeam. Now, I figured that I should just level up anyway, so we actually outspeed Pidgeot, so now we're level 68 and we outspeed. We set up a couple growths as he goes for Mirror Move, which is hilarious because, well, it's a flying move, so technically it works. But you can see just how much less his wing attack is doing because of our badge boosts. He goes for Sky Attack. We somehow survive on 2 health, and then we take him out. Honestly, my plan was to put him asleep for Sky Attack, but I wanted to see if we survived, and we somehow did, so I'll take it. Alakazam is asleep as we just keep going for Mega Drains. Now, I was really hoping that he would actually, like, heal it or something so we could get more health back, but Rhydon comes out, and we obviously one-shot with Mega Drain, nearly fully healing us. Exeggutor comes out as we Body Slam. Hypnosis misses twice as we KO with a 3rd Body Slam. Gyarados comes out as we Mega Drain, take out half of his health. He Dragon Rages, then we Mega Drain, we crit so we don't KO, miss a Mega Drain thanks to the 256 glitch, then finish him off. Last out is Charizard, who we Body Slam, he misses Fire Spin, Fire Blast doesn't crit, so we get the win and finish it off at the perfect level of 69. Nice. But no, seriously, I cannot believe we actually didn't get crit and Fire Spin missed. That's some pretty wild luck to have, but definitely much easier and way less stressful than Butterfree. I mean, we had growth. It was going to be less stressful, but hey, we did it only just over 7 hours of in-game time. But I hope all of you watching enjoyed that video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications for more future videos. The original plan for the next video was Pokemon Red with Charmander, but I would be open to doing Pikachu as well because it's the year 2025 and it's the 25th Pokemon in the Pokedex. But as usual, leave suggestions down below in the comment section. And I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you for watching, everybody, and have a wonderful and safe New Year's. Happy 2025, everybody.